Cup for H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes. Also, too, we'll have activity from Grand Prix America and Pro Light presented by Go Lithium. First boat out, the Beacon Electric, followed by the Bucket List Racing, then Beacon Plumbing, and trailing, leaving the pit dock, Goodman Real Estate. Brad, the 5-minute period is come and gone. Let's get this started.
Let's get this party started. It is day 3 of 3. The green flag is on the race course. Our 4 boats are at the top end. J. Michael Kelly comes into our Heat 2A, presented by the Guntersville Water Board, with 450 points. The boat is extremely quick. What we've noticed about J. Michael Kelly's bright red boat is how smooth it is on the water. He's followed by teammate Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. Beacon Electric is the red one, Beacon Plumbing is the white one, and here's your top qualifier. Bucket List Racing with Dustin Eccles had that 171 mile per hour lap. All 3 of those guys went around the race course smartly, and as he loves to do, he likes to do things a little differently. Andrew Tate just tooling around the top end of the race course. Tate's got a place he wants to be on this race course at a certain time, and he'll find a way to get there.
Boy, right now, Brad, at that 4-minute mark, I think he'll have to come down to turn number 1 and obviously go down the back straightaway. Will he elect to cut in where J. Michael Kelly is, or will he go back to turn 2?
Well, we'll see. He's got to go all the way down now. And Kelly and Peabody both cut the race course. That's a legal maneuver. Now, to our new race fans here, Jeff Ayler, if you haven't seen this before, everything is done on a clock start. We are at the start-finish line. We're 3 minutes and 30 seconds until the start. The idea is to put your boat on the starting line at full song, the tick before the clock strikes 0. If you jump the start and are across the line before the clock strikes 0, you run an extra lap. You're not going to win. We go 3 laps in these preliminary heats. We got a 5-lap final coming up later on in the day. But right now, with 3:10, they're in what we call the milling period, Jeff.
Brad, I spoke to an H1 Unlimited pilot this morning. I won't name who it was because I don't want to give away their secrets, but I'll give it away anyway. 22-second mark, the entrance pin of turn number 2 on the back chute. They're looking at about that 10-second mark off the exit pin of turn number 2, the start-finish line. If you jump the gun in H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing, that is a 1-lap penalty. That takes you away from the checkered flag and those precious points up toward the top.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting now because as the boats come out of the pit area, their lane is not assigned to them. They fight for lanes, and at 2:30 before the start, they're going to have to go all the way up to the top end, which means they're going to go all the way around the race course. Andrew Tate has parked himself right now in lane 1. Could that change? Yes, it could. Honestly, Jeff, I'm not sure it's going to. I think they've got to go all the way around, and Tate's just going to hang in lane 1 if he wants it. Right now, Kelly's in 2, Peabody's in 3. That's going to put our top qualifier on the far outside. And remember, Dustin Eccles needs some points. He jumped his start in the first heat, and although he was the first boat across the finish line, he was relegated to 4th place with the 1-lap penalty. So here comes Tate down across start-finish line inside of 2 minutes. Tate's in 1, Kelly's in 2, Peabody in 3. Eccles is going to come down behind everybody.
Right now, Brad, by the alignment, I like where Eccles is, but the problem where he is, he's on the outside.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Andrew. You know my unofficial timing marks. I always say, yeah, you don't want to be down there at that entrance pin in the lower corner at 1:30. It's 1:30 right now.
Yeah, I think Andrew Tate, no doubt early. It looks like he will cruise around the course. You have to be above 80 miles per hour in the warm-up period prior to the start. So Andrew Tate in turn number 1, leisurely working the buoy row in the Goodman Real Estate. He is followed by J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Plumbing. Then Corey Peabody back behind Kelly in the Beacon Plumbing. Now here comes Dustin Eccles up on the outside in the Tennessee Orange Bucket List Racing. We are now coming up on 55 seconds until the start. Brad, by my view, I think Tate's early. Eccles could be the best of all, but he is on the outside.
He is on the outside. He's just on the outside of Corey Peabody. 45 seconds until the start. The white flag is up. We're going to go 3 times around. There's 400 points laying on the table. You need to earn points, 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 as we like to say in these preliminary heats, to find your way into the final. Tate's going to take him up to the top end of the race course with 30 seconds until the start. Followed in lane number 2 by J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Then it is his teammate Corey Peabody. He's in lane 3. Eccles is going to be on the outside. You see Dustin starting to wind it up on the outside. You said 12 seconds off the exit pin. Let's take a look. We are 12 seconds right now. It's going to be getting pretty close to time to put the foot down. You see Tate can't get into it yet. The others can, but now Andrew does. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark. Boy, from my view, it looks like it's a legal start, but we'll get it from the officials. Andrew Tate on the inside was the first boat across the line. He broke the clock, and we'll get down to turn number 1 first. And he's got the lead as he goes through the lower corner. Andrew Tate, but boy, has he got company. He's got Kelly, he's got Peabody, and he's got Eccles. But off the corner, it is Andrew Tate. And then look on the outside. It is a legal start. It's a legal start, Jeff. Look at Corey Peabody on the outside in 2.
Tate made a dynamite start in lane number 1, leads it in turn number 2. Corey Peabody is hauling the mail in second in Beacon Plumbing. Back in third, we got side-by-side action between Kelly and Eccles, but off the corner, it'll be Tate in front, but Peabody charging hard in second.
Tight off the buoy row is Andrew Tate. He'll come down and put 1 in the books, but his right side rear view mirror is full of Corey Peabody. Peabody's closed the distance. He's back by about 3 boat lengths as they finish lap number 1 and go down to the lower end of the race course. It's lap number 2 of 3. Tate on the inside with the lead, but he's got Corey right with him. Peabody back about 3 boat lengths. They're going to come off the corner very close, Jeff. Peabody's making a charge.
Excellent dueling here in Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited. Heat 2A, we see Tate, Peabody hidden in the rooster tail on the back straightaway. Your race is for first in 2A. Tate maintains that lead. They enter turn number 2. Peabody is there. Tate is there. Now they are side by side in turn number 2 at the apex.
You know I love to say this, Jeff, but this is as good as it gets in H1 Unlimited Racing. You've hooked up 2 boats side by side. There's Tate. There's Peabody. They're going to come down to pick up a white flag with 1 to go, and they're virtually going to be dead even. Corey Peabody and Andrew Tate. Tate by a boat length at the end of 2. Third place is going to go to Dustin Eccles. In the Bucket List Racing, J. Michael Kelly trails in 4th. Down to the lower end of the race course. This is the final lap. You've got to get the checkered flag this time for those 400 points. Looks like 1 boat coming off the corner. There are 2 of them right there. Looking for Corey, and there he is. Sticks his nose out about a boat length, Jeff.
Beautiful dueling here in Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited 2A. Peabody in front by a boat length. Tate flies the Goodman Real Estate. The battle is up in the front. Tate has the advantage on the inside, shorter way around. They are side by side again at the apex. Final turn, final lap of 2A.
Here at 400 points, laying right here at the finish line. Has Peabody got enough? Has Tate got acceleration? They're going to come down and pick up the checkers, and it's going to be Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. He will come home first. Andrew Tate, Goodman Real Estate, will come home in 2nd place. Bucket List Racing with Dustin Eccles in 3rd, and J. Michael Kelly will come home in 4th place. Now that's a good way to start the day, Mr. Ayler.
Brad Luce, great dueling here in Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited Heat 2A. While you were calling the boats in turn number 1, the drone shot up above entering turn number 1 on lap number 1. There was enough lanes there, but J. Michael Kelly was back at the start, and when he went into turn number 1 and lane number 2, he was getting in a little bit of the wash of the Goodman Real Estate to
It's about time we make the statement we always make when we get to a boat race, and it's time for Heat 1A, this time sponsored by American Dumpster. Jeff, you cannot win the Southern Cup in the first heat of the weekend, but you can certainly lose it. Be careful, finish, and score points.
This is the building block. This is the heat. You want to score. You want to score well. You don't want to come out of this heat with the goose egg, which is the 0. This is your building block to get points in the first section, second section, third section, to be on the front row of the Southern Cup Championship tomorrow at 5:30 Central Daylight Time here in Guntersville.
3:25 until the start. 3:25. Dustin Eccles cutting across the race course from the back stretch to the front stretch on the GP course. That is a legal maneuver. Jeff, let's talk a little bit about our start procedure here. It's been basically the same as it's been for our previous two classes. It's a clock start. Put your boat on the start-finish line when the clock strikes 0. Do not jump that start. You will be penalized and you will not win. But there's an added factor to this whole thing. You cannot drop your boat below 80 miles per hour. So when we get a winner in this heat, the boats have to go through tech inspection, and that's where they pick up that 80-mile-an-hour violation should it happen. So you can't just go up to the top end of the race course and park your boat at 10 miles an hour. You must stay above 80 miles per hour. The drivers have indication in the cockpit. They also have the radio guys in their ears explaining this to them. 2 minutes and 28 seconds to the start. This is what we call the milling period. Got a couple boats at the top end of the race course, one on the backstretch, and Dylan Runny at the bottom end.
Runny at the bottom end, as Brad mentioned. The Turbinator with Jimmy King just past the halfway mark on the back chute. 2 boats up in turn number 2. The Tennessee Orange Bucket List Racing of Dustin Eccles and the Dominant Red Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly. We are coming up on 2 minutes. 2 minutes until American Dumpster H1 Unlimited Heat 1A. Brad Luce, the season is about to begin for H1. I like the lineup. Let's get this party started.
Let's get it started. Remember, Dylan Runny, the third boat coming down the front straightaway here, he has to start behind the field and on the outside. You see him moving to the outside. Jeff, these guys are awfully early to get down to the bottom end of the race course here at $1:30, which we are at now. So it's 1:30. This is where the 80 miles per hour comes into play. If you're down there too early and have to slow down, you run the risk of breaking that 80 mile per hour barrier, and that can cost you dearly. But they'll come up the backstretch. It is Dustin Eccles leading the field up there. Got 3 boats behind him. Jeff, bring them up to the top end of the course.
Coming up on the 1 minute period for American Dumpster Unlimited 1A. 3, 2, 1, mark. 1 minute period in session. H1 Unlimited Heat 1A. Our heat sponsor, American Dumpster, leading the field up. Looks like you'll get lane number 1, Dustin Eccles and Bucket List Racing. J. Michael Kelly coming into the 2 lane in the Beacon Electric. Jimmy King in the Turbinator. Griggs Ace Hardware in 3. Dylan Runny to the outside in 4 in Miss Home Street. We are approaching 30 seconds. Brad Luce, let's start this Southern Cup. Bring him to the green flag.
Thank you very much, Jeff. It looks like J. Michael Kelly's going to claim lane number 1. I think Dustin Eccles is going to go in 2. I think the Turbinator's going to go in 3. And then on the far outside and behind, as he is supposed to, is going to be Dylan Runny. But as we saw, the boats were down there too early. And Dustin Eccles is crawling up to the start-finish line here in the 40. We're inside 10 seconds until our start. We are on 5 seconds. We are 4, 3, 2, 1, mark, and we are racing in Heat 1A, presented by American Dumpster. I think we've got the 40 Bucket List Racing definitely across the start-finish line early, but until we get it legal, we will call them as they are on the water. Eccles is going to get out of the corner first. Check that. It is J. Michael Kelly on the inside. He's got a lot of boats with him. He's got the Turbinator. You can hear him on the outside. There is Eccles. He pulls up alongside J. Michael Kelly and now moves out by about a boat length, maybe a boat length and a half. He may have jumped, Jeff, but man, he's moving.
Start is under review. Eccles in front. He could be the culprit. Eccles in front. Kelly is there. The Turbinator in third into turn number 2. Exciting dueling to begin the day, but is Eccles legal?
We'll call them as they are on the water until we hear it officially. Kelly with the inside lane position. Look at him right on the buoy row. Now it's Eccles on the outside. Whether he jumped or not, 2 of the fastest race boats in the world are tied together as they come across start-finish line. Jeff, I think you've got an update.
We got a 1-lap penalty on your physical leader, Dustin Eccles, in the Bucket List Racing. The Tennessee Orange down a lap for a gun jump. So your leader is the Dominant Red boat in turn number 1, J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. That moves the Turbinator, the turbocharged Allison, up to second. Griggs Ace Hardware Miss Homestreet in third. Eccles physically in front, but in fourth.
Yeah, he's in fourth place, so your leader is J. Michael Kelly, the red boat up the backstretch. That is the Beacon Electric. And if we have that information, so does J. Michael Kelly. That's why you see him letting the orange boat go. Let him go. That's not who he's racing against. However, in his right side rearview mirror, as Jeff calls him, the Turbinator, the U3, the Griggs Ace Hardware, he is trying to make a move. Coming up on the outside of J. Michael Kelly. Dustin Eccles will come down. He will be our leader on the water, but he is actually running it forward. But Jimmy King is making a move, Jeff.
Brad, with Eccles getting that one-lap penalty, he has come toward the inside, and Kelly's had to go outside his wake. Your official leader, here comes the turbocharged Allison, charging on the outside. This one is not over. American Dumpster, Unlimited 1A. It's the two dominant red boats. Kelly, your leader. Brad, the Turbinator, is right there.
Yeah, he's right there. The race is for second place, except that is a race for first place. The two red boats, Kelly on the inside, King on the outside. You can't see King driving a 3, the Griggs Ace Hardware, but he's right with him. This one is going to be close. It's going to be a charge to the finish line. Kelly with the lane position, but it is Jimmy King on the outside with an awful lot of boat speed. He's going to pack as much as he can into this corner. Now you see Dustin Eccles go way wide and give our leaders room to come down and race this out. There is Kelly, there is King. I think J. Michael Kelly will be able to hold him off. Dustin Eccles comes across, but on his inside, our winner of Heat 1A on the water, J. Michael Kelly, driving the Beacon Electric. Second place to Jimmy King in the Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware. Holy smoke. Our third place boat will be the rookie, Dylan Ruddy, driving the Miss Homestreet. And I can only think, Jeff Ayler, Dustin Eccles is just kicking himself in that cockpit. We said, don't make a mistake, get your points in that first heat. He made a mistake.
We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it this morning. The first heat of the weekend, that's your building block, your top qualifier, the first error of racing activity this weekend. Dustin Eccles running that extra lap, and he does have to finish to get those 169 points. Great run by J. Michael Kelly, but Brad the Turbinator, Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware, the World War II Allison aircraft engine, looked great with that turbocharger running in second.
That's fun. Gas them up. Let's do it again. That was an awful lot of fun. Here comes Dustin Eccles. He's disappointed, but he comes across still very important. He comes across, he finishes, he will pick up his 169 points. They all build, as you said, with the building blocks toward making it into the final. The two boats who make out like a bandit because of Dustin Eccles' air, the U3, the Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware with Jimmy King. We are inside 5 minutes now. We've got 3 boats set to answer the call here, and we've got 1, 2, 3 Rooster Tails headed our way. The fans might be thinking, Jeff, wait a minute, there's 8 boats in the pit area. We ran 4 in the first one. Where's our 4th boat in this one? Brent Hall in the 440 has not yet qualified as a driver, so he is not eligible yet to come out and run with these guys. But we've got 3 on the water. It's going to be the U11, the Legend Yacht Transport. Legend Yacht Transport driven by Jamie Nielsen. He will come across the start-finish line, boat running very, very good this weekend. He's going to be joined on the race course by the U9, Beacon Plumbing with Corey Peabody. Here comes Corey. That white boat, Corey Peabody, he's going to be quick in this one, but don't ever count out Andrew Tate. Jeff, before you make a comment, want to just remind our fans, please stay out of the water when our H1 hydroplanes and all hydroplanes are on the water and racing. So we need you out of the water right now. Parents, help us out just a little bit there if your kids are in there enjoying some cool water. Jeff, 3 minutes and 50 seconds to the start. We got a 3-boat heat, but it should be a good one.
I'm sure these drivers watched the warm-up period back in American Dumpster Unlimited Heat 1A. Dustin Eccles, our top qualifier, was a gun jumper, received a 1-lap penalty, 4th place finish. Brad, these 3 drivers right now with the 3-boat heat, you definitely don't want to jump the gun, but you want to maintain your boat, run a clean race, score where you can, but the main thing is to stay clean, don't get in trouble.
Yeah, and here's some of that start procedure right now. You're watching Jamie Nielsen come down the front straightaway very, very slowly here, and we saw some of the drivers have an issue with the 80-mile-an-hour rule and being a little bit too early on their start procedure in our Heat 1A earlier today, and it cost, unfortunately, our U40 Bucket List Racing and Dustin Eccles. It cost him a potential first-place finish in his heat, but right now it is Heat 1B presented by American Dumpster. We're 2 minutes and 50 seconds away from the start. Jamie Nielsen right now is sitting on an inside lane. Where is Andrew? Oh, Andrew's halfway up the backstretch. He's been going very slowly ever since he came out. All a part of his start procedure, Jeff.
I think Andrew Tate right now, probably Brad, could be a little bit off. We'll see if he cuts through that infield there. That is a legal maneuver at that part of the race course. But no, he will go on up to turn number 2. Now, Nielsen and Peabody are both keen on one another as we now are 2 minutes and 15 seconds until the start. Brad, the past 2 seasons, Jamie Nielsen in the Royal Blue Chartreuse boat has a knack at getting lane number 1. Can he do it here in American Dumpster 1B?
Well, right now where Andrew Tate sets, you know I have this unofficial timing mark that, yeah, you don't really want to be at the start-finish line at 2 minutes. Well, it's 1:55 right now, and Andrew is right here at the line. He's actually not there yet, and he's going to get there about 1:48. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. You mentioned Jamie Nielsen and Corey Peabody were playing kind of a game up the backstretch. Well, Corey said he'd had enough of that game. He gave it a little squirt. He moved away from Jamie Nielsen. 1:30 until the start, Jeff Ayler.
With that maneuver, now Nielsen is toward the back of the pack, and all 3 H1 Unlimited hydroplanes will have to go through turn number 1, get their lane assigned on the back straightaway. In the race before the race, we now are 1 minute and 15 seconds until the start. Tate is the first one off the corner. Will he have the best shot at lane number 1? Peabody's tracking him. Brad still lots to decide. We're coming up on 1 minute. 3, 2, 1, mark. 1 minute period has begun for American Dumpster Unlimited 1B.
And right now it is Andrew Tate in the 91, the Goodman Real Estate. He is sitting on lane number 1. It is Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing, the white U9. That's the second boat going up the backstretch. He is in lane number 2. Jamie Nielsen will be on the outside in the Legend Yacht Transport. Inside 40 seconds to the start. Jeff Ayler, set the lanes. Get him through that upper corner for me, please.
Coming up on the 30-second mark, Andrew Tate will be in lane number 1. Goodman Real Estate, gold and white craft. White boat with the blue lettering. Beacon Plumbing with Corey Peabody. And back of the pack is Nielsen. Now is Nielsen sneaking into 1. Brad, bring him into the line for American Dumpster 1B.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on Nielsen. No, he's going to go to the outside, but he may be the one boat with a lot of boat speed. The others are up there a little bit early. Nielsen was behind the field, but he's got a lot of boat speed on the outside. Inside 5 seconds, we're 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and boy, I like that start. It looked good from here, but Jamie Nielsen nailed it in the U11 Legend Yacht Transport, but all 3 of them were tied together as they go down to the lower corner. On the inside, it's Andrew Tate with the lead, the U91 Goodman Real Estate, but it looks like one boat down there, but it is 3, and there's Corey. Corey on the outside by a boat length. Tate and Corey Peabody, Jeff, they are really duking it out.
The start was good. Now Peabody extends his lead by a boat length and a half, but Tate has the advantage to the inside. Shorter way around. Peabody gets there first. Here comes Tate, and they are now side by side at the apex of turn 2.
Coming off the top end of the race course. Remember, fans, we go 3 times around. Watch the corner for Andrew Tate, right on the buoy row, a beauty. But Corey gave him enough room and was able to keep the speed up. This boat's been fast yesterday and today. That boat being the U9, Beacon Plumbing with Corey Peabody, your defending Lake Guntersville champion, running like a rocket. Got a lot of speed off to his left and a lot of good driving skill in there too with Andrew Tate. Andrew's not going to give up on this yet. Look at that. Lane position pulled him up to about 3 boat lengths. This is a good one. We are just about halfway through this heat. Corey Peabody's opened up about a 4 boat length lead, but I'll tell you what, in that left side rear view mirror, Jeff Ayler, Andrew Tate does not want to go away.
Right now, Peabody extending the lead in American Dumpster Unlimited 1B here at the Guntersville Lake Hydro Fest. Make it a 10 boat length advantage. Peabody in front. leaving Tate a lane in there in lane number 1. Nielsen remains in third and Legend Yacht Transport, but Brad Tate's got it down now to 8 boat lengths. Corey tighten it up on the pins on the outside.
Yes, Corey really did tighten it up there. He's going to make it as difficult as he can legally on Andrew Tate. And now they come down to pick up the white flag with 1 to go here in our Heat 1B presented by American Dumpster. It is Corey Peabody and Andrew Tate slamming into the lower end of the race course. Tate gobbles it back up again, back by about 6, maybe 7 boat lengths. This is the checkered flag lap. Off the exit pit of the corner, Corey Peabody running a beautiful race in that Beacon Plumbing. He's opened up almost a full rooster tail, but Tate's still knocking on the door, Jeff.
The key for Peabody right now. Comfortable lead, don't make a mistake in turn number 2. Run his craft clean away from the pins. We go above in turn number 2 with our drone. Peabody driving clean. Tate running out of time. Brad, bring him to the checkered flag and American Dumpster 1B.
It is on the outside. Corey Peabody driving the U9, the Beacon Plumbing for Daryl and Vanessa Strong. Checkered flag flies. Corey Peabody picking up a heat victory. In our Heat 1B presented by American Dumpster, it is Andrew Tate coming home in second place driving the Goodman Real Estate, and a very strong and good run for the U11 Legend Yacht Transport. Jeff Ayler, the last time we saw Corey Peabody in that U9, it was in the final heat in Madison, Indiana. That's the first heat they've run since. He's out front with 400 points. Assuming they get through tech inspection.
The whole team will be absolutely tickled with that heat win here at the Guntersville Lake Hydrofest and American Dumpster Unlimited 1B. The 5-minute period is come and gone. Let's get this started.
Let's get this party started. It is day 3 of 3. The green flag is on the race course. Our 4 boats are at the top end. J. Michael Kelly comes into our Heat 2A presented by the Guntersville Waterboard with 450 points. The boat is extremely quick. What we've noticed about J. Michael Kelly's bright red boat is how smooth it is on the water. He's followed by teammate Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. Beacon Electric is the red one, Beacon Plumbing is the white one, and here's your top qualifier. Bucket List Racing with Dustin Eccles had that 171 mile per hour lap. All 3 of those guys went around the race course smartly, and as he loves to do, he likes to do things a little differently. Andrew Tate just tooling around the top end of the race course. Tate's got a place he wants to be on this race course at a certain time, and he'll find a way to get there.
Boy, right now, Brad, at that 4-minute mark, I think he'll have to come down to turn number 1 and obviously go down the back straightaway. Will he elect to cut in where J. Michael Kelly is, or will he go back to turn 2?
Well, we'll see. He's got to go all the way down now. And Kelly and Peabody both cut the race course. That's a legal maneuver. Now, to our new race fans here, Jeff Ayler, if you haven't seen this before, everything is done on a clock start. We are at the start-finish line. We're 3 minutes and 30 seconds until the start. The idea is to put your boat on the starting line at full song the tick before the clock strikes 0. If you jump the start and are across the line before the clock strikes 0, you run an extra lap. You're not going to win. We go 3 laps in these preliminary heats. We got a 5-lap final coming up later on in the day. But right now, with 3:10, they're in what we call the milling period, Jeff.
Brad, I spoke to an H1 Unlimited pilot this morning. I won't name who it was because I don't want to give away their secrets, but I'll give it away anyway. 22-second mark, the entrance pin of turn number 2 on the back chute. They're looking at about that 10-second mark off the exit pin of turn number 2, the start-finish line. If you jump the gun in H1 Unlimited hydroplane racing, that is a 1-lap penalty. That takes you away from the checkered flag and those precious points up toward the top.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting now because as the boats come out of the pit area, their lane is not assigned to them. They fight for lanes, and at 2:30 before the start, they're going to have to go all the way up to the top end, which means they're going to go all the way around the race course. Andrew Tate has parked himself right now in lane 1. Could that change? Yes, it could. Honestly, Jeff, I'm not sure it's going to. I think they've got to go all the way around, and Tate's just going to hang in lane 1 if he wants it. Right now, Kelly's in 2, Peabody's in 3. That's going to put our top qualifier on the far outside. And remember, Dustin Eccles needs some points. He jumped his start in the first heat, and although he was the first boat across the finish line, he was relegated to 4th place with the 1-lap penalty. So here comes Tate down across start-finish line inside of 2 minutes. Tate's in 1, Kelly's in 2, Peabody in 3. Eccles is going to come down behind everybody.
Right now, Brad, by the alignment, I like where Eccles is, but the problem where he is, he's on the outside.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Andrew. You know my unofficial timing marks. I always say, you don't want to be down there at that entrance pin in the lower corner at 1:30. It's 1:30 right now.
Yeah, I think Andrew Tate, no doubt early. It looks like he will cruise around the course. You have to be above 80 miles per hour in the warm-up period prior to the start. So Andrew Tate in turn number 1, leisurely working the buoy row in the Goodman Real Estate. He is followed by J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Plumbing. Then Corey Peabody back behind Kelly in the Beacon Plumbing. Now here comes Dustin Eccles up on the outside in the Tennessee Orange Bucket List Racing. We are now coming up on 55 seconds until the start. Brad, by my view, I think Tate's early. Eccles could be the best of all, but he is on the outside.
He is on the outside. He's just on the outside of Corey Peabody. 45 seconds until the start. The white flag is up. We're going to go 3 times around. There's 400 points laying on the table. You need to earn points, as we like to say in these preliminary heats, to find your way into the final. Tate's going to take him up to the top end of the race course with 30 seconds until the start. Followed in lane number 2 by J. Michael Kelly in the Beacon Electric. Then it is his teammate Corey Peabody. He's in lane 3. Eccles is going to be on the outside. You see Dustin starting to wind it up on the outside. You said 12 seconds off the exit pin. Let's take a look. We are 12 seconds right now. It's going to be getting pretty close to time to put the foot down. You see Tate can't get into it yet. The others can, but now Andrew does. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark. Boy, from my view, it looks like it's a legal start, but we'll get it from the officials. Andrew Tate on the inside was the first boat across the line. He broke the clock and will get down to turn number 1 first. And he's got the lead as he goes through the lower corner. Andrew Tate, but boy, has he got company. He's got Kelly, he's got Peabody, and he's got Eccles. But off the corner, it is Andrew Tate. And then look on the outside. It is a legal start. It's a legal start, Jeff. Look at Corey Peabody on the outside in 2.
Tate made a dynamite start in lane number 1, leads it in turn number 2. Corey Peabody is hauling the mail in second in Beacon Plumbing. Back in third, we got side-by-side action between Kelly and Eccles, but off the corner, it'll be Tate in front, but Peabody charging hard in second.
Tight off the buoy row is Andrew Tate. He'll come down and put 1 in the books, but his right side rear view mirror is full of Corey Peabody. Peabody's closed the distance. He's back by about 3 boat lengths as they finish lap number 1 and go down to the lower end of the race course. It's lap number 2 of 3. Tate on the inside with the lead, but he's got Corey right with him. Peabody back about 3 boat lengths. They're going to come off the corner very close, Jeff. Peabody's making a charge.
Excellent dueling here in Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited. Heat 2A, we see Tate, Peabody hidden in the rooster tail on the back straightaway. Your race is for first in 2A. Tate maintains that lead. They enter turn number 2. Peabody is there. Tate is there. Now they are side by side in turn number 2 at the apex.
You know I love to say this, Jeff, but this is as good as it gets in H1 Unlimited Racing. You've hooked up 2 boats side by side. There's Tate. There's Peabody. They're going to come down and pick up a white flag with 1 to go, and they're virtually going to be dead even. Corey Peabody and Andrew Tate. Tate by a boat length at the end of 2. Third place is going to go to Dustin Eccles. In the Bucket List Racing, J. Michael Kelly trails in 4th. Down to the lower end of the race course. This is the final lap. You've got to get the checkered flag this time for those 400 points. Looks like 1 boat coming off the corner. There are 2 of them right there. Looking for Corey, and there he is. Sticks his nose out about a boat length, Jeff.
Beautiful dueling here in Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited 2A. Peabody in front by a boat length. Tate flies the Goodman Real Estate. The battle is up in the front. Tate has the advantage on the inside, shorter way around. They are side by side again at the apex. Final turn, final lap of 2A.
Here 400 points laying right here at the finish line. Has Peabody got enough? Has Tate got acceleration? They're going to come down and pick up the checkers, and it's going to be Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. He will come home first. Andrew Tate, Goodman Real Estate, will come home in 2nd place. Bucket List Racing with Dustin Eccles in 3rd, and J. Michael Kelly will come home in 4th place. Now that's a good way to start the day, Mr. Ayler.
Brad Luce, great dueling here in Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited Heat 2A. while you were calling the boats in turn number 1, the drone shot up above entering turn number 1 on lap number 1. There was enough lanes there, but J. Michael Kelly was back at the start, and when he went into turn number 1 and lane number 2, he was getting in a little bit of the wash of the Goodman Real Estate to his inside, but Andrew had enough boat lengths. That's some of the reasons, I think, why J. Michael Kelly fell back to the 4th position.
5 minutes to the start of our Heat 2B, presented by the Guntersville Water Board. First boat away from the pit area is the U11, the Legend Yacht Transport. Chartreuse and royal blue, trimmed with red. This one's really pretty. I like this one, Jeff Ayler, and the colorblind guy doesn't have any problem seeing this one. Jamie Nielsen behind the wheel of this one, as you mentioned earlier, has yet to win an unlimited race. His owner, Scott and Shannon Rainey, have not either as owners. Scott Rainey has won many a boat race as a crew chief. He knows his way around an unlimited hydroplane. This is a different boat than they ran a year ago, but the boat's really responded. It's running very, very well. They could be a real player in this heat. They're going to be joined by the powder blue and white, the U1, the Miss Home Street. It is at the top end of the race course, and I hear something, Jeff. I hear a rumble up at the backstretch. It's bright red. It is turbo Allison powered. It is the Griggs Ace Hardware Jimmy King. Dylan Runny, the rookie, comes off the top end in the Miss Home Street. Jimmy King behind him in the piston powered boat. We could have all kinds of conversations on this one.
I think it's going to be really interesting. Obviously, Nielsen and King will be battling for lane number 1. Runny will be to the outside and back. How far will he be back? How good a start will King or Nielsen make in lanes 1 or 2? Their objective, get to the line, don't jump the gun. You're either going to get 400 or 300. If they get 225, they'll take it. But right now, Nielsen and King in a good spot to get either 400 or 300 points here in Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited 2B. But could Runny come from the back and spoil on the outside? He does have the equipment to do it.
He definitely has the equipment to do it. One of the big questions is going to be, does he have enough time? He's only got 3 laps to do it. That's a pretty short period of time. It's a sprint. Come final heat time, there'll be 5 laps, but we're 3 in the prelims, and across the start-finish line at 2:45, Dylan Runny, driving our defending National High Points champion, the won the Miss Home Street, owned by Miss Madison Incorporated in Madison, Indiana. 2:35 to the start, Jeff.
And Brad, different sequences here for all 3 drivers. King off turn number 2, Nielsen past the halfway mark up the back chute, Runny in turn number 1, so lots of separation here in the warm-up period. We're 2 minutes and 20 seconds until the start, and Brad, in about 1 minute, we expect these 3 to bunch up. Who will get lane 1? Who will get lane 2? We know Runny will be back on the outside. The factor in this one in the equation is King or Nielsen, who will be in lane 1.
Boy, under different circumstances, if Runny was not a rookie, we might see him cut the race course right here, but he's not going to, I don't think. He may just from it. No, he's going to go all the way up. But Nielsen, I think you've got to like where Jamie Nielsen is sitting right now at 145. He is coming down the front straightaway. Again, the other piece to that start procedure that gets picked up in tech inspection is the 80-mile-per-hour rule. They have to maintain a minimum speed of 80 miles per hour. So at 130, I like a lot where Jamie Nielsen sits right now. I think he can park that thing in lane 1. Here comes King. He's going to come rolling down, and he's probably going to slot himself into lane number 2. And as you said, the rookie, Runny, got to be on the outside. 115, Jeff.
Nielsen in turn number 1. King is powering up into the entrance pin of turn number 1. We mentioned Runny will be back into the outside. We are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 mark. 1 minute period has begun for Guntersville Waterboard. H1 Unlimited 2B. Nielsen up there in front on the back chute in the warm-up period, followed by King and Dylan Runny. Brad loose, 45 seconds until the start. I think it'll be Nielsen in 1, King in 2, Runny and back on the outside. Bring him to the green flag.
That's what it's going to be, and it looks like Jamie Nielsen is way out front. He is. Is he early? Maybe a little bit, but I don't think so. I think he's in pretty good shape, but watch the red boat. and watch the blue boat behind. I think they're both going to bring a lot of speed, but remember, the blue one's got to start behind. And here comes King. You can hear the piston power start to roll.
The driver I mentioned this morning, unnamed, it was King. He was there at 22. He might be right on it.
This could be good. Jeff said he's got some inside scoop on Jimmy King and the piston boat. He's going to bring a lot of speed on the outside. We're inside 10, we're inside 5, we're 3, 2, 1, mark. And it certainly appears to be a clean start. It is legal. And the boats were actually late behind the line, but there was a lot of speed in the piston boat and Jimmy King, but he's a couple of ticks behind Jamie Nielsen. Nielsen's got to get down to the lower corner first. Look on the outside. There's a lot of red out there and a lot of rumbling going on with the piston boat. This is going to be good, Jeff, but off the corner, it is Jamie Nielsen. Legend Yacht Transport by about 4 boat lengths.
Nielsen, your leader, has the advantage with lane number 1, but I think the horsepower advantage belongs to the Turbinator. Nielsen's lead is down to 5 boat lengths. They enter turn number 2, and King has got it down to 2 boat lengths. Nielsen, your leader. King has cut it down to 3 boat lengths at the apex of turn 2.
Top end of the race course. We'll wait to see Jimmy King. Where is he? There he is. He pokes his nose out. He's staying right on the hip of Nielsen, and he kept the RPM up. Gonna come down and put 1 in the book. Side by side racing here. 1 in the books, and it's Nielsen by half a boat length. Literally half a boat length at the completion of lap number 1. Runny comes across in 3rd. Was King able to gobble him up? He was, but now he's going to give it back because of the lane position. Looks like 1 boat down there. There are 2. Jamie Nielsen approaches the exit pit, and there's King on the outside. I think you said it right, Jeff. King's got that horsepower, and he's got it wound up.
Super sweet action at Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited 2B. King showing the horsepower of the turbocharged Allison, but he is on the outside of Nielsen. Nielsen maintains that advantage. Closer to the buoys, the Turbinator in front, make it 3 boat lengths. Nielsen countering back as they work through turn number 2. Nielsen tighten it up. King's lead down to a boat length.
Coming off the top end of the race course, they're going to come down and pick up the white flag. It means 1 more to go. Jimmy King driving the Griggs Ace Hardware and driving the daylights out of the piston boat. The fans are eating it up, Jeff. Down to the lower end of the race course. King's got about 4 boat lengths. And Dylan Runny comes across in 3rd. Now it's a checkered flag lap. Who we got down there? King by about 2 boat lengths, maybe 3. Opening it up just a little bit. He's got that horsepower wound up. He's got to have the acceleration off the corner, and so far he's been able to show Jamie Nielsen the tail end of that red boat. He's got it wound up, Jeff.
And now King extends the lead, make it 7 boat lengths. Final lap in Guntersville Waterboard Unlimited 2B. The Turbinator looking for 400 big points in this heat. And now Nielsen dropping back. King's lead getting bigger. Final turn, final lap. Can the Turbinator hang on?
Drives him definitely clean off the top end, giving Nielsen plenty of room. Jimmy King, Griggs Ace Hardware, Charlie Grigg, you're going to pick up 400 big points there. Piston Power claims Heat 2B, presented by the Guntersville Waterboard. The fans like that one. Here comes the home street, and Dylan Runny, he will come home in 3rd. Jeff Ayler, we wondered who would get lane 1. Jamie Nielsen did an outstanding job of picking up that inside lane, but at the end of the day, he just couldn't hold off that Turbinator. Once he got that thing wound up and the RPMs up high, he could stay wide. It's this big, wide race course. He could keep it up. He didn't have to worry about acceleration because he was bringing a lot of speed to the exit buoy. competitive sport.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
these guys are all competitors. So were you. Every time you
Exactly.
got behind the wheel, you had one goal. Let's go win this thing.
Exactly, that's the goal, So I think all these drivers want to win. So
Well, we've got some incredible equipment on the water down here. Let's look at our field. It's the U91, the Miss Goodman Real Estate, This boat from Miss Madison Racing. It is driven by Andrew Tate. This is the 2018 hull. This is the newer of the two boats from the Miss Madison Racing stable. This boat was here powder blue and white over the last few years, driven by Dylan Rennie. Jimmy Shane had so many good runs in this particular hull. Now it's Andrew Tate's turn, and young man can handle a race boat.
most certainly can, I think he's got the best ride out there in the field, and I think he's one of the best talents also.
Next up on our list from Daryl and Vanessa Strong in the Tri-Cities of Washington. Great job switching the camera there, looking right down the barrel there of the U1, the Beacon Electric, driven by J. Michael Kelly. And a boat you know well, although it's been changed an awful lot, but you spent some time in this hull. It's a good one.
Defending national champion.
It is.
Gold Cup winner, so that's another great contender to win the weekend.
And those awards that you just mentioned that he won, he did it all in the same heat. He managed to collect them all, mix in a Lake Washington win.
That's amazing.
And he's won 5 times now on Lake Washington. That's a big deal, as you know. He will be a player in this. We saw him out in the test session this morning. He was working on some interesting timing marks. He turned a lap today that included a fast timing run to the start-finish line, and the average speed for the lap was 80 miles per hour. That speaks volumes to what he was doing. He was crawling at the top end, but the 80-mile-an-hour rule is gone, so it's a new start sequence.
I enjoy that. I never really liked the 80-mile-an-hour rule, so you're disqualifying races before the race.
That's exactly why it is gone, and that's why this new leadership at H1 wanted to get rid of it. I didn't even tell you to do that, and you walked right down that path, so that's a good one. Right behind him there on the water is teammate Corey Peabody, driving the U9, the Beacon Plumbing, the predominantly white boat trimmed in blue and yellow. And this boat with Corey, he was virtually unbeatable here, unbeatable on the circuit last year until we came here and they broke the strut down there in turn 1 and missed a couple of heats. And as you and I saw yesterday, he missed 2 heats, and he still lost the national high points by a mere 84 points. That boat was almost unstoppable.
Yes, last year and the year before, he was really, really hot. And, sometimes one race, it just changes the whole course of things. That's what happened last year here. And,
it sure did, and they'd love nothing more than to turn it around here because they didn't have the best trip down in Lake Guntersville a weekend ago. But as you know, too, man, it can change overnight. Just something happens on the drive up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, your boat that was running so beautifully, you can't get it right and can't get it straight. I look for him to come out here and run strong and have a good weekend. There he is on the screen.
Beautiful paint job on that thing.
Isn't it pretty?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Isn't it pretty?
Mr. Cahill must be pretty happy.
Mr. Cahill, I am told, wanted a little more splash on the boats. And clearly, these two boats look really good from the air.
Yeah.
They look great. So there's the U9, the Beacon Plumbing, and Corey Peabody. Rounding out our 4-boat field is a little bit further up the dock, but it is behind Corey Peabody. There you're looking at it, U40 Bucket List Racing. Keep saying it, an extremely fast boat. One of these days, Kelly Stockland's going to get a win as an owner.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. They put a lot of work into that boat, and the boat really fast. It's really stable, and it's been qualifying very fast all year long last year, and again in Guntersville. So.
Yep. And Dustin Eccles is his second season here as the full-time driver for Kelly of the fast boat. He'd driven the other boat, the little boat as we call it, the 440 for many years, but Kelly was true to his driver, and he had earned that job. He had earned his opportunity to drive this fast boat, and he's doing a great job with it. We are inside, Jean, 10 minutes until the start. We're coming up on 6:55. What's a driver doing right now in the cockpit? What's he doing while he's sitting there?
I think he's really concentrating right now, thinking of what kind of strategy he's going to be doing and what he's going to do for starting procedure and so forth. And it's a bit new again this year because the 80-mile-an-hour is gone, and so the starting strategy has been changed. So, but I think he's concentrating on his strategy right now.
So what do you think of this new start procedure? You watched a little bit of it last week with the score up and all that stuff. What do you think?
I love it.
Oh, you do?
I
love
it.
Good.
I love it. I'm happy they went back to that. That's the way it was when I started in 05.
Yeah.
So I just love it. And fighting for lanes, I think, it's so important for any type of hydroplane racing.
Well, we always call it from the broadcaster perspective. It's the race before the race. A lot happens. You can win it and lose it right there.
Absolutely. And you can have a slower boat, have it lane one, and win the race.
Yep.
You know.
And the lid is already down on Andrew Tate. One of the changes we made here a year ago, I'm sure you're aware of this, but as we look at the U91 there in the foreground, we see this crew member back there with a hand on the fairing at the back of the boat. As you know, the boats can't come out on the race course until the 5-minute mark. Well, we had some of them kind of jumping that a little bit because lane position was important, and even the race off the dock got important. The rule was implemented here a year ago. You must have a crew member with physical contact with the boat when the clock strikes 5 minutes. And the comment was made, if you can find somebody with 40-foot arms, that might be the guy you want.
Yeah, exactly. But
so
it makes it fair for everybody.
It does. Everybody's got to come off the dock at the same time. Nobody can cut the race course when they come out here. They are going to have to go out and around the course. And again, the 80-mile-an-hour rule, as Jean Thierret says he's happy to see gone, is indeed where one mark. 5 minutes, you see that crew member hanging on to the back of the boat. They'll twist the nose out.
Brad, what are the DMZ zones here this weekend, you know?
Yes, I don't have a course map in front of me, but it is down there. They cannot go beyond the GP course. They got to come in before that, believe it or not.
Okay.
A little bit different. And then up at the top end, they've got to cut before the bridge. I can't tell you which exact buoy is up there, but they can still cut from back to front, or front to back on the lower end of the race course where the boats are now. They can cut from the back stretch to the front stretch before they get to the bridge, as I saw the map.
Good.
Please don't anybody quote me on that one. I asked for a course map. I still haven't got one. But our boats are away from the dock. We got 4 expected. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and now the fun begins.
Everybody's on the water.
So JMK came out first. He's going up the backstretch. And again, just to remind everybody, the next part of this start sequence is everybody's got to go around the course once. So we'll see that. But after that, then it's put your boat behind the start-finish line at 90 seconds. And if you jump that score-up buoy at 90 seconds, your buddy over here to my left is going to tell you to move to the outside. They're going to tell you to drop back and move to the outside. Again, the idea is not to disqualify you before the race.
Okay, there's no minute penalties. It's just you have to go outside.
Nope, you just have to go outside. That's exactly right. Then if you jump the start, we've got other issues there. But Jonathan Abbott, your buddy over here, he's got the watchful eye for that. We haven't had to do that yet. We haven't had anybody jump the score-up buoy. So we'll see how that plays out. It's got to happen at some point in time. But here comes the 2 beacon boats. The 2 boats from Daryl and Vanessa Strong. Oh, look at the great shot from the drone. You got JMK on the inside. Just to his right and behind him is Corey Peabody in the U9. They will come down here side by side, looking at the clock now at 3 minutes and 3 seconds.
JMK just cut the
there's
course.
Mike cutting the race course here. That's a legal maneuver. He will jump over to the other side. Says, I don't want to be a part of this. Now it's Corey and Andrew down at the bottom, and Dustin's going to go all the way down to the bottom end of the race course. 2:45 to the start. Everybody kind of bunched down at the bottom with the exception of Mike, and he's approaching the Milton Madison Bridge. Lots still to be decided here with regards to lanes. Jean, I know you're aware of this, but we're going 3 times around. The fastest race boats in the world. Now, our field is going to go underneath the bridge and find JMK sitting up there, and the radio guys are telling him where Mike is, right?
Absolutely.
They're saying he's sitting there probably in lane number 1. We saw Mike doing those slow timing runs, and he was definitely sitting in 1. Now watch this. We're at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. They can't cross this until the $1:30 mark, so Mike's going to try and defend that lane without jumping the minute 30s mark. So here they come off the top end.
You got a lot of time to burn.
They've got a lot of time to burn, but they all have to stay behind this.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
And it doesn't make any difference how slow they go. Coming up on 15 seconds. Now look at Mike. He'll come down, and he's going to protect that lane. Watch him back off again. We are at about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark looks good to me. Looks good to me, and we've got a good score up from the officials. Now, they still haven't got their lanes established yet because they do that at the entrance to 2. 5 length overlap to move over on somebody. So now Mike's got to defend that lane, and the guy he's got to defend it against is his teammate, Corey Peabody.
Yeah. Andrew's in lane 3, so when
and then it's going to
back a bit.
It's going to be bucket list on the outside. Now Mike's radio guys will tell him nobody's coming after you. Go ahead and pull your foot. So he does. He'll slow it down. Now here comes Andrew, but I don't think he's going to be able. Now look at Mike. He picks it up as the radio guy tells him that Andrew's coming.
Corey did the same thing. So.
Yep. So when they get to the entrance pin at 2, that's when the lanes will be established. But I think we pretty much got this one figured out.
JMK in lane 1 and Corey 2 and Andrew 3 and Dustin Eccles lane 4.
You got it. Jean Fiorette laid them out for you right there. Looking at 4 boats from the drone as they go through the top end. We're going to go 3 times around. Now it is just a normal start. As we've done for many, many years, you've now seen the new start procedure for the first time. 4 boats coming off the top end. This is the idea of this procedure. Bunch the boats up and bring them down.
John, a bit early.
Yeah, John, you're going to tell me what the timing run is, but I always said it was about 12 seconds off of that bridge.
Exactly.
The guys put the hammer down, and here
we go.
We go. So we are inside 5 seconds. We are 3, 2, 1, mark. It's really going to be close, but we got 4 boats coming across start finish line. JMK broke the clock. Who'll get down to the corner first? Kelly is in 1. He's going to get down there first. Got Corey Peabody with him, and somewhere on the outside, here comes Andrew Tate in the 91. The 2 strong boats.
Peabody.
Corey Peabody jumps out in front on JMK. Somewhere on the outside, you can't see him, is Andrew Tate. So they are locked together up the backstretch.
We got a race.
We got a race going. And that's what we want. Now, can Kelly gobble him up as he gets up at the top end? He's got lane position.
Yeah.
The start was good. The start was legal, John, so everybody is on it. Oh, boy, this is good. Top end. Where is Andrew? Where is Andrew? There he is. He is back a bit. The 2 strong boats are keeping him at bay so far, and Corey Peabody is going to come down and have the lead at the end of lap number 1. Peabody from lane 2, Jean, looking strong.
Well, I think lane 2 here in Madison's a pretty good choice,
1 in the books, 2 to go. You see Kelly on the inside, but Andrew is not going to give up. You know that Tate kid. He's going to keep driving this thing. We are on lap number 2 of 3. Peabody down there first. Got about a boat length and a half on Kelly.
Nose to nose.
Here comes the acceleration. You talked about it yesterday. Who's got it? Who's got it? Oh, Corey Peabody looking good. He's got to protect that boat on his left. He's also got to watch Tate in the right side mirror.
Corey's really doing a good job right now.
Corey's driving a whale of a race. Now Kelly begins to close a little bit, but a lot of that is just angle from where we are standing. And don't count out that guy on the outside. Peabody, Kelly really close together lane-wise, but it looks good. JMK with a good corner. Now, giving him plenty of room is Corey Peabody. He's also making Andrew Tate run a big wide race course. Here comes Corey Peabody. He will come down and pick up a white flag with 1 more to go. Peabody from lane number 2 got his teammate in the left side mirror, got Andrew Tate in the right side mirror. Still anybody's boat race. Is a really good race for second place here. Can Tate run down Kelly from the outside?
That'll be close.
Final time around. Peabody there. Boy, look at the interest. Look at that lane position for Kelly. He's able to gobble up some ground, but it's this acceleration off the corner from Corey Peabody that is setting him apart from his teammate. Now we see Andrew Tate drop back just a little bit. This is a Daryl and Vanessa strong heat right now. Both boats, Beacon Electric and Beacon Plumbing, out front running 1-2, and it is the plumbing boat on top. Corey Peabody. Underneath the Milton Madison Bridge, this is the final lap. They will come down to pick up a checkered flag. Look at Kelly hanging right with him on the inside. He needs a good corner up here. His teammate's going to give him plenty of room. Mike slides off and comes down. Now it's just acceleration to the line. So far, it's been Corey really Peabody that's had it.
Yes, Corey's really doing a good job, and I think lane 2 is a really good lane choice.
Here we come to put Heat 1 of H1 Unlimited into the book. It is Corey Peabody going to come home in first place by about
second.
4 boat lengths back is JMK, and then it is Andrew Tate, just like that. Boom, boom, boom.
And Dustin Eccles is going to take 4th place.
Dustin's going to come down. He is just underneath the bridge. He will come down and pick up a 4th place finish. I was not positive, Jean, about that start. It was close. Heat 2.
the wind picks up, if you can tell if the water conditions change. So the spotter is very, very important.
And as a driver with your radio person, did you like short and sweet messages, or did you like a little bit more elongated information
No,
from the spotter?
to me, I just want concise information
Sure.
and very short, because sometimes it can be distractful also. So I just pertinent information and very short.
How do you like the new start procedure this year with H1? I think it's on the right track.
Well, I love it. When I got into unlimited racing, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
In 2005. So the only difference is in 2005 you had to be on plane.
Yeah.
So now these boats can get off plane. So I think the starting procedure is fine. I love the 80-mile-an-hour rule being kicked out.
Yes.
Because I don't like racers being disqualified even before the start of the race.
Yes.
I think it's hurtful for the sport. It's hurtful for the fans, and
Yes.
it doesn't do any good.
I think my biggest factor with it, you took the words right out of my mouth, it's that paying customer along the shoreline.
Yeah.
We want boats to come to the green flag and not be eliminated prior to the green flag. It's confusing and sometimes can give a little bit of a different view
Exactly.
of what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely, and there's a race before the race,
Yes.
and that's what makes it even more exciting, and if you can explain it a bit more to the fans, well, they can understand a bit more of it, get involved, and get information on it.
And this course here, lane 1 and unlimited, is not necessarily the lane you want.
Not really, we saw Corey Peabody in the first heat there with lane 2, and I think that's why he got the win.
I think he did, but J. Michael Kelly, he just has such a knack at getting lane 1, and that takes a lot of skill and talent.
Yes, it does. But in most race courses, lane 1 is the preferred lane. But I strongly believe here in Madison that the best lane is probably lane 2.
Now, when the viewers watch next weekend on the live stream provided by the Hydroplane Racing League up at Valleyfield, what a tremendous venue. The crowd is on top of everybody. But in Grand Prix, boy, lane 1 there is tough. Man, that is tough maneuvering. I think you would love to be in 2, but boy, what a sight for hydroplane racing at Valleyfield.
Yeah, the thing that's so nice in Valleyfield is the fans are really close to the race site, to the race course itself. So when you line up like 6 Grand Prix boats there, the earth is shaking.
Yeah.
So it just gets you so exciting, and the first corner is awesome. And I always loved lane 1 in the Valleyfield. I was very successful in Valleyfield because I often got lane 1.
And the fan base in Valleyfield are so knowledgeable.
Absolutely. They've been racing like 85 years, I think, in Valleyfield.
Yeah.
And the HRL has a gift of explaining to the fans the way the races are going on, and educating the fans, and they're interested in getting the knowledge, and the fans really love it.
Jean Theoret, our 2006 APBA Gold Cup winner. He's with Brad Luce on the stream with H1 Unlimited. Always great seeing you. As always, you're welcome to Madison, Indiana, anytime you want. And if you ever want to tour Rikers Ridge, look me up.
Well, I feel really appreciated here in Madison. It's always good to be here. I'm always welcomed, and I really thank everybody here in Madison.
Thank you, Jean. Great seeing you.
Have a good
Looks
day.
great. Jean Theoret.
Let me tell you what, as likable a guy as you'll find, Jeff Ayler.
They don't come no better.
Absolutely.
Oh, just a wonderful man, and this sport's been a big part of his life, and of course a Gold Cup champion. You heard him say won 43 Grand Prix races in his day, and he was the Grand Master of Grand Prix hydroplane racing, Jean Theoret.
And let me tell you what, that guy, I still bet if he strapped into a boat, I still bet he'd put it toward the front of the pack, knowing him. Jeff, I look on our screen here. We are inside 1 to the 5. Inside 1 to the 5 for our Pro Light final for Saturday. Again, inside 1 to the 5. We got 5 boats out there that are going to be competing today. And now we're getting closer, 5 minutes, 15 seconds. I'll let you know when we get to the 5-minute mark here. Again, the boats are
Really seen the Corey Peabody we expected this season thus far until he won here in Madison, where he and the U9 came alive. It's no secret it's been a struggle for him until that point, as things haven't gone in his favor. And I asked him how he mentally resets after drives that don't meet his expectations, and he said simply, you have to have short-term memory. Forget, move on, what's done is done, and focus on things in your control as a driver. And he did just that in Heat 1. He said he and the team have been grinding, and it feels so good to get the U9 back to the front where so many of us expected him given such dominance last season. Can he repeat that effort here in Heat 2, guys?
Fireworks every Friday night, it's a thing. Live shows from Umpqua Bank Concert Series, that's a thing. Big Wah sneaking around, he's a thing. The Washington State Fair is back August 30th to September 22nd, and we've got a little something for everyone.
Thank you, Erica, very, very much. Jean, I don't know how much of that you picked up, but Erica was down there talking with the team and with Corey and just discussing what happens on a race course, whether it's good or bad. You got to forget about it because you've got another heat to run.
Yeah, I heard short-term memory. Well, that's all I heard.
I mean, is that something we suffer from, or was that
Maybe it's the drivers. I don't know.
It's the driver. We're having some fun here, obviously, but it's going to get real serious here in 7 minutes and 12 seconds because that's the time on the clock for our H1 Unlimited Heat 2 here at the Madison Regatta. Unlimited Heat 2 is sponsored by the Rivertown Bar and Grill. Jean Theoret and I are going to do our best to bring all the action to you in this one. It's a 4-boat heat. John, we got the 1, the Beacon Electric with J. Michael Kelly, the 40, Bucket List Racing and Dustin Eccles. Corey Peabody's going to handle the U9, Beacon Plumbing, that you're looking at on the screen. And then the U11, the Miss Mercury's Coffee and Jamie Nielsen. No Andrew Tate in this one, so this is his turn to sit one out. There's the Mercury's Coffee. What do you think about that lineup?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Jamie's going to do. Is he going to go for that lane 1 or not? I know he's very good at it. So, but like we said before, is lane 1 the good one?
That's right. I was just going to come back to you on that because we saw Corey be able to successfully drive around his teammate there, J. Michael Kelly, who dove into the inside lane in our first heat. We'll see how it plays out here. Our starting procedure worked very well last time out. And J. Michael Kelly was the one who was able to win that. If that's indeed what he wanted, was that inside lane. He got it, but he could not hold off his teammate Corey Peabody. Corey would like nothing better than to head into Saturday night with 800 points
with 2 wins,
and a couple of wins under his belt.
But I'm sure JMK is going to play to try and ruin that game also.
Yep. And Bucket List Racing, Dustin Eccles, they had the 4th place finish there in the first heat. I'm sure they'd like to score a few more points.
Yeah.
Maybe get a 2nd or a 3rd at least. But we know the boat's quick. If he gets a jump on you, you can have your hands full driving around that bright orange hydroplane, too.
If you get lane 2 and get a good start there, that could be interesting.
Yep. So looking at the clock, 5 minutes and 25 seconds now. So we'll have boats on the water here very quickly. And again, as we talk, John, you look at the boats on the dock, you see a crew member with their hands on each one.
Absolutely.
Each boat has a crew member with their hand on the fairing. That is a rule. They have to stay there for another 10 seconds. The noses of our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes are pointed out toward the center of the Ohio River. Mark 5 minutes. Turn them loose, and here they come. And there you go, Scott and Shannon Rainey's U11 Mercury's Coffee. Looks like he's the first away from the dock, and we'll head down to the bottom end of the race course. Always a great sight here in Madison, Indiana. Look at that. Beautiful shot there. 1, 2, 3, 4 boats. All come out.
Look at the bucket list.
Yes.
Look at him go. I think, geez.
Whoa.
Wow. Whoa, JMK swallowed some water there.
He certainly did, and so did Corey.
Yeah.
Holy cow, he came out with a vengeance.
Yes.
He did not want to trail everybody down to that lower corner, and he sent a message, I'm here to race in this one.
I think he wants lane 1.
There was a clue. Wow. So, coming up on 4 minutes, and after that maneuver coming away from the dock, it is Dustin Eccles. First up the backstretch, got Jamie Nielsen right behind him in that right side rear view mirror. Then the 2 strong boats. Corey's next, the white one, the red one, JMK. 1, 2, 3, 4 up the backstretch, just inside 4 minutes, John. Up underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. The boats will go all the way around the race course, and then we'll see if we see somebody cut. We saw JMK come down the front straightaway after one lap in that first heat, and he cut right here in front of us and was able to snare lane 1 with that maneuver. As we've talked, everybody's trying to figure out this new start procedure.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what Dustin's going to do.
Yeah, we'll see what Dustin has up his sleeve. Will he cut when he comes down here? Jamie's going to pull up alongside of him here at the 3:15 mark.
Corey's inside on that lane back.
These guys looks like they're going to go all the way down.
Yep.
And they are. How about Corey? How about Mike?
Yep. Corey.
There goes
Corey's
Mike.
cutting in.
Mike's
Mike
going to
too.
go, and Mike's going to go inside him. How about that?
Yeah.
There we go. So just like that, Corey went from being on the inside of Mike to being just outside of him.
Yep.
This was the same maneuver Mike did in the first heat, and he got lane 1 with it.
Yep.
And Corey sat in 2. Right now, that's where they are. Now it's Dustin in 3 coming up the backstretch, but we have not scored up yet. The boats will have to be behind the start-finish line at a minute 30.
We
Still
have
a lot
minute,
can happen.
Yeah, over a minute to burn.
Yep. So you got a couple of boats way up front. You got a couple of boats following them. A lot still to decide here in the race before the race. It is H1 Unlimited Heat 2. It is sponsored by Rivertown Bar and Grill. And everybody is standing and watching for this one. It is our second H1 Unlimited Heat at the 2024 Madison Regatta and the Indiana Governors Cup. Now our boats, John, are starting to bunch up there a little bit.
Yeah.
And now if J. Michael Kelly wants lane 1, he's going to have to defend it here a little bit.
Yeah.
Looking at the clock, we're inside 2 minutes. We're at a minute 54. Cannot cross start finish until a minute 30.
They're all together.
Boy, they are indeed all together. Great shot there. All 4 boats are very, very close. Look at Jamie's on the outside. He's got, boy, it's getting tight in there, too. There's not a lot of space between them. We are 35 seconds.
Jamie's going.
Yep, here comes Jamie. Boy, it looked legal to me. We will get it officially here, but that's about as close as we've been on a score-up buoy so far this year. Everybody going down to the lower end, still carrying a lot of speed. Mike still on that inside lane. Dustin holding back a bit in lane 3. Nothing's changed so far. Just waiting to see if everybody's legal.
I think it's all going to be the same. JMK lane 1, Peabody lane 2.
Here comes Dustin, but I don't think he's going to be able to scoot up there far enough. He'd have to have 5 boat lengths to move over on anybody. Still waiting to hear anything from the officials or officially. Haven't got it yet. Up underneath the Milton Madison Bridge. Inside 50 seconds. Inside 50 seconds. Kelly is in 1. Corey Peabody is in 2. It's Dustin Eccles in 3. We talked about Jamie maybe getting on an inside lane. He's going to be on the far outside, John.
Yep.
30 seconds, top end of the race course. They are early up at the top end, but they can scruff off some speed there. The lanes they are in now are the ones they're going to have to race in.
Jamie's laying back a bit.
Jamie is going to be back a little bit. The others are slow. See if maybe Jamie Nielsen doesn't bring a little bit more boat speed to the line. They approach the bridge, and we think that's about 12 seconds, and we think that's pretty good. And they've all lit it up.
Yep.
This is what we wanted to see, was 4 boats side by side by side.
Look at JMK.
We are 2-1. Mark, I think we're legal on that, but we'll let the officials call it. It was a beauty.
Yep.
JMK was right on the line and got the jump at the field on the inside lane. Now down to the bottom end of the race course, turn 1. It is J. Michael Kelly coming out about 2 or 3 boat lengths on the lead. Dustin Eccles is in 3rd with Corey Peabody in 2nd. It is a legal start. The start is legal. Up the backstretch, J. Michael Kelly. Beacon Electric, the U1. Look at the race for 3rd place up the backstretch. It's dead even between Dustin Eccles and Jamie Nielsen, but it's the strong boats out front. JMK trying to hold off Corey Peabody. This looks a lot like the first heat, John.
Yeah, but JMK got a better start, so he's in front of Corey right now.
Yeah, he can dictate that upper corner up there as he comes off the top, slides out to about lane 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly. So
J. Michael Kelly. Going to come down hard. Corey's not going to let him go, though. This is going to be good. A couple of teammates and a couple of very good friends are going to go at it.
Jamie's in 3rd.
Jamie is in 3rd on the outside of Dustin. Look at the boat ride for JMK. He's flying it. He's really moving, John. He's got a good boat ride.
Hallmark and Venmo cards make gifting a cinch. Choose a card for any occasion, big or small. Scan.
Down to the bottom end of the race course, JMK has opened up water on teammate Corey Peabody. This would be a big win for Strong Racing and a big one for JMK.
Yes.
This would boost his confidence, but he's got to look in that right side mirror because he's got his buddy Corey Peabody right there in the Beacon Plumbing. We are halfway through our second heat, H1 Unlimited Heat 2, sponsored by Rivertown Bar and Grill. It's almost a full rooster tail now for Kelly up the backstretch, and then it's a long way back to our third place boat, which is Jamie Nielsen, and another rooster tail back to Dustin Eccles, who remains on the inside, and Nielsen will keep an eye on that one. But the race is at the top end. He's opened up a little bit water.
Yeah,
JMK has.
He's got a rooster tail now. He can do whatever he wants.
He can go wherever he wants. He's got control of the race course.
Is Corey
All
going
right,
inside?
here they come down. Now should get a white flag.
Yeah.
White flag for a clean start and a start of the final lap. It's going to be a white flag for Kelly with 1 to go. Corey on the outside. Kelly really looking strong here in our H1 Unlimited Heat 2, presented by Rivertown Bar and Grill. Bottom end of the course. JMK's just got to get through it clean. He's got about 3/4 of a lap to complete, and he'll come home with the first place on the water in our H1 Unlimited Heat 2. Corey does not want to let him go, but he's not chipping into the lead of his teammate JMK, John.
No, he's keeping it ahead. Full rooster tail now.
But exactly what you said, he can really control the race course once he
Absolutely.
gets a lead like that. Top end of the race course now, underneath the Milton Madison Bridge, it is all J. Michael Kelly over teammate Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. It's the Beacon Electric out front, then back to Miss Mercury's Coffee. Jamie Nielsen is in third. Fourth place will go to Bucket List Racing. Already off the top end of the race course, here comes J. Michael Kelly. He sees the checkered flag. It hangs on the start-finish line tower. It is going to go to boat number 1, Beacon Electric. J. Michael Kelly, your winner of H1 Unlimited Heat 2. Second place going to go to teammate Corey Peabody, driving the Beacon Plumbing, the U9.
1-2 for the Strong team.
1-2 again for the Strong team, just a different order this time through. And here comes Jamie Nielsen, a good start to the racing weekend. This is their first heat and a solid third place finish for Jamie Nielsen in a Mercury's Coffee.
Yes. Dustin
Fourth
Eccles
place
coming fourth.
is going to go to Dustin Eccles in Bucket List Racing. And he comes across in fourth place. I think we're going to see a big smile on the face of JMK. That's got to give him some confidence. He was able to grab the inside lane and hold everybody off, and actually he extended the lead with every lap. He was moving out.
The big difference this time is JMK got a better start than Corey.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get a better start than he
exactly,
had. I'd
but
like to see
it's
that
a
one
perfect
because
start.
he was
It's a perfect
right
start,
there.
And Corey just laid back a bit, and that made the big difference. JMK got in the first corner first, and he led the race after that.
And that's really it. A big chunk of this thing is get to that first turn first with a bunch of clean water and speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he did. J. Michael Kelly. He gave a starting lesson to all of them on that one. I wasn't sure. I was glad to hear a clean start. That was close.
That was 2 perfect starts, and he had a really good start the first heat also.
Yeah.
But I think Corey had more speed on him on the first race.